So today I'll be giving you guys a quick guide on basically how to farm bosses here in Jujutsu Infinite. Now, farming bosses in Jujutsu Infinite is very crucial. It's like most of the game after the end game. Not even just the end game, but also the mid game. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm the bosses, alright? By the way, we have a goal to reach 50k subscribers before my birthday in February 21st, 2025, which I'll be 21 years old by then, and that's gonna be crazy. So, yeah, subscribe. Then also, I just made a video on the best stat build for most people in Jujutsu Infinite. Now, I covered most of the stat builds in there. You might need to check it out before this video because you're gonna need the stats or the best stat builds for fighting these bosses, okay? So, if you go to teleport Q right now and check the bosses, you can fight any boss with this technique, okay? Some certain bosses like Sorcerer Killer does not have a domain, so maybe the strategy will be different. The main gist of the strategy is actually divided into multiple parts. Number one, do it with other people. The boss queue is very perfect for this because you can literally get randoms to do it with you. Now, again, that might not be very efficient, but doing it solo will be slower and might not even be possible for some of these bosses, especially at the higher difficulty. Number two, getting the best stat build, which is, again, covered in the previous video, which in my opinion is a focus build, a Black Flash focus build. That is very overpowered for PvE and PvP. And then number three, having a domain, an incomplete domain or complete domain, which is going to be needed to counter the domains of some of the enemies in the game, specifically Sukuna, Mahito, Jogo, and then Dagon. You have to be able to counter their domain because they are very overpowered when they get their domain. So you have to have a domain to counter them. So that's pretty much the strategy, okay? And if you follow this, then you will most likely be able to do it with other people. Now, if you're not yet max level, then just don't do the higher difficulty ones. You can do the lower difficulty ones if you're not max level. And in my opinion, the nightmare difficulty ones is just reserved for when you are at the max level, because that's just how it works in my opinion. He'll activate his domain very quickly. So this is the part where it's going to be very hard, right? Because they have a lot of one-shot moves in their domain that you might need to learn how to block. Like that one right there is a crazy one-shot, so you block that one. So I only take 187 damage. Had I not blocked that, I would probably have been destroyed. You could literally get one-shot by that. So you have to learn their patterns, but most of the time, you also have to be able to pop their domain the same time they will, because they have a lot of domains that are very overpowered and are very painful. So you're gonna need to pop your domain right at the same time as they will. However, for enemies like Sorcerer Killer who doesn't have a domain, it's actually even more easier for Sorcerer Killer because you could literally just put him maybe in a domain. But actually, Sorcerer Killer doesn't get affected by domains, so it doesn't really matter. But I would still put him in one, simply because putting him in a domain is just much cooler, right? And it's also just a strategy that's just the best. Like, if you put him in Sukuna Shrine, I believe he gets damaged by the slashes. But for Sorcerer Killer, the basic stat is just basically damaging him as much as possible and avoiding his other attacks. Now, for people like Sukuna, the strategy is actually very different. Right here, I'm going to be doing it with one other guy. Doing it with one other guy might actually be even impossible. So at most, it should be like 3 people that does Sukuna, or 4 people that does Sukuna. Because without that, it's very, very hard. But the very basic strategy is have a domain and be able to pop your domain before they pop their domain, and win the domain clash, and then put them in your domain. And if you can't put them in your domain, you have to be able to block their moves that can deal a lot of damage, which is what I'm going to be doing right now. Then, if you're going to be doing Nightmare mode, make sure that you're going to be doing it with other players, because it's just... The Nightmare mode, I think, is just not really designed to be played by just one person, right? So, right here, Sukuna is going to spawn. I'm just going to activate my Hollow Purple immediately. And yeah, the Hollow Purple is very useful for this. So let me just activate my Hollow Purple. Boop. So I have to be able to get my domain before he gets his domain, right? And then just block the moves that does a ton of damage, or dodge him. Either you block or you dodge. Now, I'm just right now blocking. Okay, so right here, I might be able to activate... Okay, crap, dude. Yeah. I lost a lot of HP there. But I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I lost a lot of HP there. So I might not be able to even do this. But again, if I was doing this alone, this would have probably been where I was gonna get cooked, right? But since I'm doing it with the other people, I'm not gonna get cooked yet. But I probably will die here, but it doesn't really matter as long as I can put him inside my domain. Okay, a maximum 6 eyes. Alright, good. So let them do their job right here. Let my other friends or teammates do this. They're not my friends, they're just teammates. Okay, so I got some HP from maximum 6 eyes. I am, by the way, using the focus build. Okay, so had I not been able to put him in my domain, I probably would have gotten cooked. So I'll probably show that next time. What would happen if I do not put him in the domain? And if you can't clash him with the domain, you have to make sure that you can block their attacks. Some enemies like Dagon has some blockable attacks. Some enemies like Fingerbear doesn't have blockable attacks, so you have to learn their attack patterns. Sukuna, I believe, also has unblockable attacks, so you have to again learn their attack patterns to be able to counter them efficiently. Some you need to dodge, some you can block, some you can't dodge, some you must block, right? So that's how it works. Now here I'll show you what actually happens if you don't domain clash with him. Because if you don't domain clash with some people like Sukuna, it is an actual lose condition already because his shrine will just continuously take your HP. So it's very hard. So we're just gonna activate buff, activate their Virgin Fist right here, then go to boss spawn. Now here, I will not be applying the domain on him because I just want to show you guys what will happen if I don't apply the domain. Somebody else might apply the domain on him though, but I won't. I myself will not be applying. Okay, this one right here has to be dodged. If you don't dodge that, that'll take like half of your HP. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I think we're gonna take a lot of this HP right here. Okay, that one has to be dodged as well. Okay, this one I think can be blocked to take less damage. That one's very hard to dodge, to be honest. Okay, so I don't know if they're gonna be doing the domain, but I won't be doing the domain. Okay, so right here, I did not domain clash with him. Alright, so since I did not domain clash with him, let's see what's gonna happen, right? Alright, so he activates his domain. And this is where we're gonna get cooked. So unless we are able to kill him here, which I think chances are we will not be, this is a lose-lose condition for us. This is a lose condition. So unless we're able to kill him here before he gets us, which I highly doubt we will, because of just how many attacks are going at us. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to get him here. Yeah, I'm dead already. Some of the other guys might be able to get him, but I doubt it. But yeah, you need to be able to domain clash with them to actually win. Especially some people like Sukuna. You need to be able to domain clash. Alright, so we lost. As you guys can see right here. We lost, unfortunately. But that's just how it is. I didn't domain clash with him. And thus we lost. But had I activated my domain before he did, he probably would have lost. But yeah, that's just how it is. So for a quick summary right here about the bosses and how you can beat them. Bosses like Finger Bearer can be put in the domain. You can put them in your domain very easily. Put him in the domain and then kill him. Dodges iframe, learn his attack patterns. Same with Ocean Curse. Same with Soul Curse, Volcano Curse. The strategy for most of these is put them in the domain and combo them until they're dead. Learn their attack patterns and dodge your highest damaging moves. Some enemies like Finger Bear has one shot. Ocean Curse has one shot as well, so you gotta learn how to dodge those. For Sorcerer Killer, it's just dodge his abilities and use long range attacks to get him because domain doesn't work on him. But yeah, that's pretty much it for how to farm the Nightmare bosses, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one where I'll probably talk about how to get some of the rarest accessories and swords in the game. So yeah.